Hello my beautiful friends, it's Amanda here, and today I'm doing part 2 of my best makeup for dry skin series, and we're talking about foundations. To be completely honest with you, I have been putting off / dreading filming this video because foundations are really difficult to talk about. First and foremost, shade range is an issue in foundations. We all know that. A lot of products that are available for us now are not incredibly inclusive in shade range. With that being said, there are a lot of foundations out there that have great shade ranges. These 40 shade foundations that are coming out, we're even seeing it in the drugstore. Of course, you think about things like Fenty, obviously, Huda, Cover FX, and then there's also the Maybelline Fit Me, the matte and poreless, 40 shades in that. CoverGirl is coming out with a matte foundation with 40 shades. The problem that I encounter with this series that I'm working on is I'm recommending foundations for dry skin. And when we say Fenty, Huda, matte and poreless, these are all super high coverage matte foundations. I am glad they exist, but I have dry skin and those foundations don't work for me. I can't just sit here and recommend those to you because they don't work for my dry skin. So this is the predicament I'm in. I want to seek out and support companies and products that are releasing inclusive ranges, but at this moment in time, a lot of the products that work for me don't have great shade ranges, and that sucks, but that's the way it is. I'm trying to find a balance between all of the different priorities. Of course, I want to offer affordable options because not everybody can or wants to shell out 40 or 50 bucks for a foundation. For some people, it's just not possible. So for me to only talk about the few products that have a great shade range that work for me, I would be excluding those who need more affordable options. I'm just doing my best here. I'm trying my best to find a balance. For that reason, I'm going to be talking about 10 different foundations today because I really want to cover my bases for anyone who might be watching this, whether you have an issue finding a shade, whether you have an issue finding something that's affordable for you or has the right amount of coverage for you. I'm hoping that you'll be able to find something that works for you somewhere within these 10 products. This is not a review video. This is not a wear test. This is not a demo. This is strictly just me telling you my recommendations in light of the shade range issues that I discussed at the beginning of this video. The very first thing I want to talk about is this product from NYX. This is the Total Control Drop Foundation. It comes in 30 shades. This should be pretty easy for everybody to find in drugstores, at Ulta, online. Because this is so intensely pigmented, I think it tends to look a bit dry on my skin once it dries down. But I love this as a mixer for another foundation to change the undertone. You could also use a darker or lighter shade to deepen or lighten a foundation. I don't find that this interferes with the formulation of another foundation as long as I don't use too much of this. So that's why I wanted to talk about this first and foremost, in case there is a foundation that I speak about later that you want to try but you can't quite find the right shade. Then investing in a little bottle of this stuff can help you adjust the shade, the tone of another foundation to make it work better for you. Do I think that you should have to do that? Of course not. You shouldn't have to buy a $14 other product to make something work for you, but I'm here to give you the information, and this is a great option. For the rest of these foundations, I'm gonna group them by coverage, starting with the lightest coverage first and then working my way up to the fullest coverage that I'm gonna recommend to you today. First is the MAC Next to Nothing Face Color. This is priced at $31 and it comes in 9 shades. However, this is such a light coverage product that 9 shades doesn't seem unreasonable to me. This barely has a tint to it. I have literally used tinted moisturizers that have more coverage than this. I'm sure some people are wondering, why does a product like this even exist? And I actually love this. I like to use it to mix in with another foundation to sheer it out and add some dewiness. or I'll even mix this in with a sunscreen just to give me a teeny tiny bit of evenness to my skin tone, but it's very sheer, very natural. It just gives that like balmy, dewy look. This would be great for somebody who's either really young, like a teenager that wants to wear some makeup but doesn't really need like a full beat, or really anybody who's not looking for a bunch of coverage. Just a little something, a little dewiness, a teeny bit of tint, hint of tint, if you will. Next up for my light coverage favorites is the Double Wear Nude Water Fresh makeup from Estee Lauder. This one goes for $42. It only comes in 12 shades. I do hope that they'll expand because their regular Double Wear foundation does have more shades. This foundation really hits the sweet spot for me. It's hydrating, but it doesn't end up looking greasy. It has just the right amount of coverage. It has some SPF. Because this has that same super liquidy consistency, it mixes really well with shade adjusting drops. This is one that I have a whole video on, so if you want to know more about this one, check the description box for a link. Last up for my light coverage favorites, this one's from IT Cosmetics. This is the Bye Bye foundation, and this is actually a full coverage moisturizer. This one is sold for $39.50 US, and it actually comes in 12 shades. I know 12 shades is nothing to write home about, but if you know anything about IT Cosmetics, that's actually a sign of growth for them. Previously, they were only offering like 4 or 5 shades in their face products. Is 12 shades enough? No. Is it better than 4 or 5? Definitely. I'm happy to see some positive change as far as shade range goes. I really enjoy this product. It looks so skin-like. It has that SPF 50, which I definitely need. Even though this says it's a moisturizer, it really performs like a BB cream on steroids for me. This doesn't break up on my skin. I was nervous about that happening because it says it's a moisturizer, but I have truly been loving this stuff. Summer staple. If you have dry skin, go to Ulta, ask for a sample. This stuff's good. It's good. We just need more shades, but it's good. Now we're moving into the medium coverage foundations. I have 4 here that I want to discuss. The first is something that I don't hear a lot of people talking about, and that's this Airbrush Away foundation from the brand No. 7. This is priced around the $18 mark. It's available from Walgreens and Target. I got mine from Target. There are 17 shades available. There's a lot of beige in that shade range. I'm just going to be completely honest with you. This is another dropper style foundation, but this one is quite a bit thicker than the Total Control drops from NYX. This has a very natural finish. I'd say it's somewhere between dewy and satin. This is another one that I really like to mix in with another foundation, particularly because a lot of these shades have a very neutral undertone. So I'll mix this in with another foundation that's a bit too yellow or a bit too pink to help even out that undertone. I do like this on its own as well, but this is one that I definitely use as a mixer. If you watched my dry skin foundation routine, then you've been anticipating this one. This is the L'Oreal Pro Glow foundation. This is one of my all-time favorite foundations. I wish that they had more shades of this. This is such a great foundation. Mine's basically gone. I constantly use this. Every time I travel, I take it because I like the squeezy tube packaging. This one is retail priced around the $13 mark. There's only 12 shades of this. Why? Why? This is such a good foundation. I love this. I want everybody to be able to use it. I am on the campaign trail for L'Oreal, well, for everyone to expand their shade range, but this is my favorite foundation ever. I want every single person to be able to try it. The next one I'm going to talk about is from Physicians Formula. This is the Healthy Foundation, and this happens to be the one I'm wearing today. You can buy it for around $15. I am such a huge fan of this foundation. I'm so excited for Physicians Formula. This comes in 16 shades, and the shade distribution is actually something from real life and not 14 shades of beige and then 2 deep shades tacked on. Physicians Formula was one of the worst offenders when it came to shade range. They were literally making like 1 or 2 shades of all their base products, which is dismal And this is an example of a company listening to consumers. Physicians Formula offering more shades than IT Cosmetics. Okay. Would I like to see this have 24 shades? Of course, more options is always better. But I do think 16 shades is a great place to start. I've seen a lot of people commenting that this one dries down a lot darker. I haven't really had that experience. I don't know if just some shades are worse than others as far as the dry down goes. I've worn this foundation a ton. I feel that it does stay true to color on me, but everybody reacts differently to products. Everybody's skin type reacts differently. I've really enjoyed it. I think it's a super natural finish. I don't have to powder this one. My skin continues to look radiant, but it doesn't look sticky. So fingers crossed, I hope we're gonna see even more shade expansion from Physicians Formula. Now we're gonna talk about a newer foundation from NARS. This is their Natural Radiant Longwear Foundation. It comes in 33 glorious shades. This one is priced at $49 here in the States. I did a whole video about this line when it launched, so if you want to see swatches of all 33 shades, check out the description box. I'll link to this video. This is an incredible release. It's one of the few foundations that came in a large shade range that is a radiant finish foundation, not a matte. I'm not hating on those foundations, they just truly don't work for me. And this is the first time that I found a huge shade range that really works well for my dry skin. Just throwing it out there, but I tried this natural finish foundation from CoverFX. I was really excited about this because it's for dry skin and it has 40 shades. I was so pumped, and this just did not work well for me. I looked like a greasy, shiny mess. It started to break apart on me. So sad that this didn't work out for me. But then this came into my life. This NARS foundation has a beautiful finish. It's radiant, but it's not sticky on the skin. It dries to a really nice, workable finish. It doesn't need to be completely powdered, so you won't lose that radiance. It has a medium buildable coverage. I just can't say enough good things about this. If you are somebody that has dry skin and has struggled to find a good shade, I highly recommend this. Definitely go to Sephora or to a NARS counter in a department store and you can explore the shades there. You can have somebody help you get shade matched if you struggle with that. So happy with this foundation. I hope that this is setting a trend for inclusive shade ranges in radiant finish foundations because we're severely lacking that, and I love these. I love these ones. I love you. The next foundation that I'm going to talk about, I kind of went back and forth on whether I should include it in this video or not. This is the CoverGirl Vitalist Healthy Elixir Foundation. In my CoverGirl Get Ready With Me, where I talked about all the spring launches, I said that I couldn't recommend this product because of the shade range. I just looked at it on the Ulta site, which is where I typically shop for my drugstore items, and Ulta only offers this in 7 shades. But this actually does come in 14 shades. Obviously 14 shades does not an inclusive range make, but 14's about twice as good as 7. In my CoverGirl video, someone suggested that I should not talk about the product because it doesn't have an inclusive shade range. Here's the thing, talking about it does matter because after I posted that video, I spoke with somebody at CoverGirl about it. They watched my video. I'm not saying I'm like a factor for change, but I think the more we talk about it, the better. And I do think that they're gonna listen, obviously, because they watched that video. So imagine if I hadn't talked about it. Anyone? Okay. This is a great medium to high coverage foundation for those with dry skin. This does not cake up. It does not look flaky. This is not a matte finish. This is a beautiful, very glowy full coverage foundation, and those are hard to come by. At least in my experience, I haven't really found a lot of foundations that give me a lot of coverage but don't make me look dry. The Healthy Elixir is retail priced around $10 depending on where you purchase it from, and it is available in 14 shades. The very last foundation that I want to recommend to you today is the one with the most coverage of all of these options, and it is the Too Faced Born This Way foundation. This foundation is priced at $39 US. It's currently offered in 24 shades, which is pretty decent, especially compared to all the other things that we've been talking about lately. Too Faced is expanding the Born This Way foundation. They are adding a bunch of new shades. I'm not sure exactly how many new shades. They are working with Jackie Aina. It was brilliant to bring in a woman of color to consult on this. I love this foundation. I love that they are expanding their shade range. The Born This Way foundation has a satin finish. It's the least dewy of all of my recommendations, but it still manages to have a little bit of skin-like radiance to it. It doesn't look completely flat on me. It has a great wear time, tons of coverage. Whenever I'm going to a special event, somewhere that I know I'm going to be photographed, if I'm getting fancy, this is always what I go for. This is my like never fail fancy foundation. I really tried to find a balance here of recommending things that have different coverage options, different finishes, different shade ranges, different price points. I truly hope that you found this video helpful. I hope that you found something that's really gonna work for you. Please leave a comment. Let me know what your favorite foundations are for dry skin, or if you don't have dry skin, just let us know what your favorite foundations are for your skin type. I love hearing your suggestions. I love learning about what works for you. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye. Range and inclusivity. I'm so like, ugh. For my favorite, but this is gonna be a long video. There's no easy way to talk about foundations. It's just, there's no easy way to do it. We have to keep talking about it though. I said in my Shape Tape foundation video that we need to not let this be an issue that is a Shape Tape foundation issue. We need to keep talking about it. We need to keep pushing for it. I'm gonna do that. I hope you do that. I'm gonna be tweeting, I'm gonna be making videos, and when I make these videos, I will send the links to the companies. Don't think that I won't, because I do that. And I will straight up email them and be like, are you gonna expand these shades? I've done it before and I will do it again. I know I'm not like some hero for change, but I'm gonna keep talking about it. I think it's important. That's all I have to say about that. Oh boy, mentally preparing myself already for the comments. I've been wearing this foundation for hours and it still looks fantastic. And it's freaking hot outside here too. It's hot already. We skipped spring. Just went like winter, summer. It's spring for like a day and then it just rained that day. Oh well, at least it's not snowing. Sorry if you live somewhere that it's snowing right now.